Hello and welcome back everyone. So in our previous lecture, we have learned the basic principles of rest and rest seats and also the design form and principles of the occlusal rest. And now we will be doing our final lecture in the rest and rest seat series, that is the incisal and the lingual rests. So first of all, before starting the main lecture, I want to address a few points regarding these types of rest and when to use them. So these types of rest, that are the lingual and the incisal rest, are not preferable by any means unless the situation demands them. The preferred site for placing a rest on the tooth will always be on the occlusal surface of the molar or the premolar. But nevertheless, sometimes the anterior tooth may be the only tooth in the mouth that can be used as an abutment, or the anteriors must be used to provide indirect retention. So in these cases, either the lingual or the incisal rest may be used. But of course, one of these two is better than the other, and we will discuss them in detail later onwards. And secondly, when we have to place the rest on the anteriors, the canines are always much preferred over incisors for placing the rest, because they have a much greater bulk and root form and structure. But suppose if the canines are not present or are unable to be used as a rest, then the incisors can be used for the purpose of providing rest. But a single incisor will never be sufficient enough for using it as a sole anchor of providing rest to the denture, and hence multiple rests spread over several incisors are preferred over placing a single rest on a single incisor. Other than that, there are also 4 other important points that we should consider before placing rest on the incisors. These 4 points are the root form of the incisor, the total root length of the incisor, the inclination of the incisor, and finally the ratio of the clinical crown to the alveolar support that the incisor has. And only after carefully evaluating these 4 points, an incisor can be used as a form of providing rest to the denture. So now let's start with the main topic, that is the lingual rest. Now the topic of lingual rest is a little bit complex and too much for an undergraduate level, so I will be simplifying a lot of things and will be mentioning only the important ones. So like I previously mentioned, that the occlusal rest is always a preferred form of rest. But in some cases, like mentioned previously, we have no other choice but to use lingual or the incisal rest. So in those cases, a lingual rest is always preferred over an incisal rest. The reason to use lingual rest over an incisal rest is because the lingual rest is placed closer to the horizontal axis of the tooth, and because of that the lingual rest is less likely to lead to any kind of orthodontic movement, while an incisal rest is always more likely to lead to an orthodontic movement because of the unfavorable leverage forces being applied onto the abutment or the tooth. The second reason to use lingual rest over an incisal rest is that a lingual rest is more aesthetically pleasing as compared to the incisal rest, which are most of the time visible in our oral cavity. So hence, because of these two main reasons, a lingual rest is always a preferred option whenever possible over the incisal rest. So there are 2 ways to prepare a seat on the lingual surface of the anteriors. Either you can directly prepare the seat on the lingual surface of the anteriors. The shape of the seat in this case will be a slightly rounded inverted V shape with the tip or the apex of the V directed towards the incisal surface. The placement of the seat is at the junction of the middle and the gingival third. So this type of preparation is however difficult to perform from a clinical standpoint, as the lingual surface is already difficult to approach because you have to view the tooth in an indirect vision, and secondly, this preparation of the lingual rest seat has to be precise and accurate. Therefore, care should be taken not to create any kind of undercut which will otherwise interfere with the placement of the denture. So apart from this kind of direct approach, another more satisfactory approach is to prepare the rest seat on the cast restoration rather than on the tooth. This is done by planning the placement of the rest seat on the wax pattern. By using this indirect method, the lingual surface of the tooth is spared from any kind of preparation, and also the fit of the rest itself is much better. Hence, this is a much preferred way for using a lingual rest. So moving on to the next type of rest, that is the incisal rest. So as I have previously mentioned, this is the least desirable form of rest. But it can be used in cases where we have no other option but to use our incisal surface as our rest seat. But nonetheless, when we have to use the incisal rest on the anteriors, the teeth need to be completely sound. So when deciding on which teeth to use the incisal rest, it is always preferable to use incisal rest on the mandibular canine as shown in this picture and not on any other tooth. The reason being that when incisal rest is placed on the mandibular canine, it provides the definitive support to the denture with little loss of tooth structure and also minimum display of metal from the mouth. Hence, when placing the incisal rest, mandibular canine is always preferred for placing incisal rest over other anteriors. The preparation of incisal rest involves making a small rounded notch on the incisal angle of the canine, not at the center of the tooth or at the contact point, but at the edge of the incisal surface. That edge can either be the mesial edge or the distal edge, as shown in this picture where the seat is on the mesial surface of the mandibular canine. By using this method, the incisal rest will provide excellent vertical support and also indirect retention to the prosthesis with beveling the borders of the seat. The width of the incisal rest seat prepared should be 2.5 mm, while the depth of the seat should be 1.5 mm, no more or no less, as these measurements on the incisal surface will allow the rest to be strong enough without compromising too much on the natural tooth structure and tooth contour. If, however, the rest seat preparation cannot be used on the incisal surface of the mandibular canine, then multiple incisal rest can be placed on multiple mandibular incisors. But use of these types of rest on multiple incisors instead of mandibular canine is only allowed if the following conditions are met. The incisal rest that is going to be placed on the incisal surface may take advantage of the natural deficit or incisal chipping or any other abraded tooth anatomy that has already been done on the incisors. Or the use of the incisal rest will successfully restore the original anatomy of the tooth. And also if the tooth morphology of the incisor does not permit the use of other design other than using the incisal rest. Or the use of incisal rest will provide additional stabilization to the denture overall. And lastly, incisal rest may be used on the incisors if the dentist thinks that the rest may restore and provide an already disturbed anterior tooth guidance of the patient. If at any instance the dentist decides to use a full incisal rest that will be placed on the entire incisal surface of the teeth, then the patient must be thoroughly informed about the aesthetics of the denture. So these were all the important points for the incisal and the lingual rest. So this completes our lecture on the rest and rest seats. I will be covering more topics on the parts of removal partial denture in my further videos. Till then, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and goodbye.